Pre-show here at ransomizzo.com. We got 2 minutes for our live. If you're in the chat, Bev, good to see you. How are you? We have an open chat, ransomizzo.com. All right, 30 seconds. We're live. Ransom Izzo on Spreely Media and all that good stuff. So you have the Freedom Hub app. Download it. Freedom Hub, all one word. You watch you just watch so much shit. It's ridiculous. All right, guys, here we go. Sit tight. Welcome to the show. Wrong button.
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Ransom Izzo Show with your host, Dominick Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Good afternoon, kids. Ransom Izzo Show here on Spreely Media. It's Tuesday, year of our Lord, was it 2024, January 30th. Got one more day left after today. I don't even know anymore. We got from the Daily Murphy sitting in with us today. What is going on, man? How the hell are you?
Thank you for having me, brother.
Dude, love having you on. It's been a while. How long has it been? About 5-6 months, something like that?
It was still warm out the last time I was here.
Holy shit. All right, what is the Daily Murph? Plug that. What is this stuff you do, the Daily Murph? Tell everybody who you are.
It's kind of bad marketing on the first hand because I don't necessarily post daily. So that's kind of the folly of it all.
Fucking lies.
The idea is that I couldn't settle on an Instagram handle. I just, my interest had changed like every couple of years. Cause first it was kind of fitness and then I didn't care about fitness. And I just kind of had to pick something. And kind of what got me started in the profession of independent media. I subscribed to the Daily Wire. There's the Daily Caller, the Daily Mail. I'm like, well, I'm Murph every day, so just be the Daily Murph. And I don't really have many skills or talents. I'm okay at talking, I guess. And I grew up in a pretty political household, so I kind of took the last few years of being pissed off and kind of feeling scummy about everything. I started channeling it into what are the problems and what do I see the solutions are. Oftentimes I get called a fascist for it, and that just means I'm doing something right, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad. Where can people wind up checking out the Daily Murph and all the content that you put out?
For sure. So as far as the Instagram page, it's at @thedaily_Murph. You'll find a picture of me there and like kind of like a weird rosy coloring as my profile picture. You can find my podcast, which is called The Talk with Murphy Wells, on Spotify podcasts and Apple podcasts. That's a little bit different than what I do with kind of the social commentary. That's also because I'm with a lot of people who are in entrepreneurship, building businesses. I myself run a social media marketing campaign business. And basically what I do is I bring them on and I talk about what they do. And I'm also part of a men's grooming care company, which is called Captain Beard Co. And we just got me in.
You talk about that right when I decided to shave my beard. So for those who can't see, I trim my beard, I wanted to go with the John Burke look and have the 70s porn mustache. But I look like it was a bad attempt at a really shitty, thick, gray mustache. So, I lost my chin because of how much weight I gained. So I look like fat Wilford Brimley's great grandson. It's horrible. It's like you should keep me away from your kids with my pedophile fucking mustache. Stupid.
I'll do my best.
Hi, kid. No, that's just horrible. All right, so we're gonna get into some stuff today. We're gonna talk about where the world is going. Are you familiar with this E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah, it's a huge crock.
Can you tell the kids at home who are playing on their laptops and watching us, who is E. Jean Carroll?
E. Jean Carroll, and I could be wrong here, but as far as like her line of work, I believe she's a sex columnist. Is that not correct?
Oh, I don't.
Well, I believe she's someone who I believe has written smut in her life, and her books didn't sell very well. And her entire claim to fame is apparently about 2 decades ago, Donald Trump assaulted her in the middle of a day in a department store. And since there was no way to prove that he was Donald Trump, and he basically ran her name through the mud, and they just sentenced him to pay $83 million for defamation.
Oh my gosh, 2019 book. What do we need men before? What do you need men for? Elizabeth Jean Carroll is an American journalist, author, and advice columnist. Ask E. Jean column appeared in Elle magazine from 1993 until 2019, becoming one of the longest running advice. She's not earning for money. So I will say this about her, coming through my lens of the world of kink and whatnot. I get her. She's a fucking psychopath, number one, and she's a very dangerous woman for women, authentic women who are going through rape claims right now. We're going to play audio that we're going to take on the perspective of from men, but a woman like her, for those who never heard, and I'm not going to pull it up to play it, but because it's been played ad nauseum. She was on Anderson Cooper in 2020 talking about how she thinks rape is sexy. And I've talked about that. We've talked about the kink aspects of women who fantasize about rape and whatnot, but there's such a shame culture that goes on in this lifestyle that somebody like E. Jean, who has a perspective of it, is going to be shamed by people who are ashamed of their kink. So what she's also doing is, she's ruining the credibility for authentic rape victims with this lawsuit that she just did. You throw her on the log of the fire of Tawana Brawley, the Duke lacrosse players, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. It's just this insurmountable garbage pile of fucking vindictive women who are not held accountable through any checks and balances that could just say, hey, Murph raped me, end of story. Now I want what's mine. And they'll double, triple down on their lies. I didn't know. I found out this trial was only 7 days. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they expedite all this stuff as much as they can to try to like screw Trump out of his resources, as far as I'm concerned. 7
days for an $83 million rape trial. I was blown out of the water with that. Fucking unbelievable. But I want to play this audio a little bit more specifically. This is her and her lawyers on MSNBC being interviewed, by Rachel Maddow. And this is a question that Maddow asks when it comes down to the financial gain. We'll play this and we'll talk about the nuances.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours,
Nothing.
Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right, okay.
That's a joke.
So here you have 4 fucking broads on mainstream media laughing. What are you going to do with the money you won? And they all are laughing, including her lawyers. Her lawyers at the end of it, that's a joke. No, it's not. No, it's not. So what we know now, here's what we have learned by the left is that rape is sexy and rape is fucking funny. That's what we've learned. I don't know what your thoughts are, but rape is sexy, rape is funny, and hey, let's go get a payday from fucking men.
It's a tool that they use at their convenience, and at the moral conversation of it all, like when someone gets taken advantage of in any capacity, that's an awful thing that shouldn't happen. When people are able to use it as a device for political power, you bet your ass that they're going to do it. And if you're sitting there talking with Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, or whoever, insert propagandist here, that's the entire thing. It's not meant to be a move of justice on someone's behalf. It's, hey, here's more propaganda. Let's stick it to this person a little bit harder because that's what our audience wants. To them, it's completely validated by their feelings of hatred for this man, which, do I believe that all these people really hate him? Yeah, but do they love the other side? No. And to have the lawyers sit there, oh, it's a joke. Yeah, okay, do your little thing, get your little pardon, whatever, because this is going to go to appeals, and then the amount of money is going to get taken down. He already had paid $25 million to her. You're going to sit here and
I didn't know that
about it. It's like, come on, this isn't justice. This is propaganda.
I had no idea. I already paid that much, $83 million. I didn't know that. Like when I heard that the trial was 7 days, 7 days, and it's not a criminal case; it's a civil case. He wasn't arrested. So that was so. As somebody who's like and was involved in the criminal justice system, the thing that bothered me was wait a second. So there was, she sued him for slander, correct?
Defamation.
And it blows me away how when you're a political figure, there's no what do you call it? Protection against slander. They can see whatever they want. And these are damages. What people don't get is you have, like when I went through my case for my police department, my lawyer had told me damages was one of the hardest things to wind up proving because you have to prove that you suffered. Well, here was me, my department fucking fired me, lost my job, lost my house, lost my fucking relationship, all this shit. And it's like, I lost my income and I was suing them for wrongful termination, ultimately fucking won, took 3 years of hell. But the thing of it is like, I'm like, it was going to be easy to, here's the damages you want. How do you prove this woman was damaged? She's online cackling about being allegedly raped, but that's not what she's being awarded for. She's being awarded for Trump calling her like a whack job. She is clearly a whack job.
And then by extension, though, because it's a quote unquote rape case, what does the media get to do? They get to then tag along the words Trump with, rape case. It's something that's only meant to like say to the lowest common denominator of people, here's how you are supposed to feel. If you look into it a centimeter below the surface, though, it's like these are the actors that are conspiring against the dude. You think that their intent is 100% legitimate? I'd have to check your IQ test on that. It's absolutely disgusting how you can. And she's done this to other men of Trump's stature before, too.
Oh,
can you not recognize a simple pattern? The people who want to sit here from their high horse and say that this is justice, it's not justice. It's your feelings. I just read about, and if you listen to the show regularly, I do attack women on this because there's no accountability. There was another woman who, social media, who claimed that some guy threw a brick at her face after she refused to give him her phone number, and she had like $34,000 she collected in like sympathetic fees on a GoFundMe, and somebody noticed this and said, wait a second, she collected money on this a couple years ago for the same thing. So one of the things that, and over in the chat, Bev says the lawyer looks uncomfortable. She's 100%. That lawyer looks so like, shut the fuck up. This is what that lawyer looks like she was saying. But what kills me is that women now who have credible rape cases, like the two aspects of it is, number one, you got guys out there going, shit, if I don't call her after fucking her that night because I really just wanted to hook up, I run the risk of so-and-so raped me and now I want them arrested and their life ruined. You're a target, especially if you're a celebrity, sports figure, anything like this. And then for women, think about all the women who go through credible shit who they will never report it or they won't be taken seriously because of just vile women like this who are talking about a payday. And the very sad part is the exact point you brought up is just that because victim culture has been so just diluted in this country, it's you look at the people who have really been through something and they don't want attention for it so that they can get money or power. It's like, no, I want to see something done. But unfortunately, we have a justice system in this country that they'll follow the narrative, which is the money for them. When people actually have an issue, when people have a gripe, you're from Chicago, I'm from St. Louis. The narrative is completely backwards from what reality actually is. These people want to tell stories that are like, I want justice done, not I want to build a brand off of it. And building a brand off of being a victim is just fashionable right now. And it's disgusting to see, man.
I'm looking at this a little bit further. Carol's column called Ask E. Jean appeared in Elle from 93 till 2020. It was critically acclaimed for her opinions on sex, her existence that women should, quote, never structure their lives around men, and her compassion for letter writers experiencing difficult life situations. She was a writer for the 1986 to 1987 Saturday Night Live series. So how does this woman have any credibility for claiming that she's a victim of somebody saying you're a whack job? The biggest problem I have, and again, this is the path that I don't want to go to, but I don't know how we avoid this. It's like the other day, Breitbart put out this article that one of Trump's, I guess, a counsel on his counsel is going to get 4 months in prison for disobeying a congressional subpoena. And then everyone's like, oh, Hunter Biden, why isn't he doing it? It's because we're just letting it go. Here's another thing. Every woman who disagrees with this E.G. Carroll shit, if you guys all, sorry, don't mean to misgender your whatever. If you gals all will march on Washington and wear your fucking pink pussy hats and shit like this for the credibility of women who are raped authentically, and you're all feminists, you should be marching outside of this judge's house. Like, not, you should be doing, take your tops off, right on your shirts, take shits on his front lawn, put it in your hands, smear it on his door like you insane broads do like crazy. This is what you should be doing. You should be saying, for the sake of female authenticity and integrity, that what's being done right now for your cause is an abortion of justice. But you're not going to see that. You're just not going to see that because women don't like accountability.
And to also take action is inconvenience. Is why the peanut gallery is what it is these days. It's way easier to sign a petition or to threaten someone with emails that they're not going to support a business anymore. But when it comes to organizing and it comes to seeing the truth of a situation, the phrase "believe all women" was really popular towards the back end of the last decade. But it's like, what did that do? It gave everyone who was creative at creating a story and bending people's feelings, it just gave them leverage to get more out of the system. And it's too inconvenient for people who see a problem with that to say, well, no, that's not okay by me, because that makes me look bad. That takes away my legitimacy someday. That's why I do what I do with my page, because I'll get fired at by a bunch of nameless people, faceless people on Instagram. I'll put my name and face out there for what I think and believe. And if that gets my account shut down, or I don't know, maybe gets me hit with a case someday in terms of like, hey, you said this, we don't like it. I don't care.
Dude, isn't that amazing? It's like we're now at this place where I'm not careful for what I say because there's still free speech, but it doesn't seem to matter. You could sit there and go, oh, this person's Murph is a fucking nut job. And all of a sudden Murph decides that, hey, you defamed me, you're going to sue me. It's like, it's the tort process, right? That frivolous lawsuits, which I thought they were going to get rid of in the 90s. I thought there was going to be tort reform, but there never was. Anybody could sue anybody for anything. And it always blows me away. The bullshit. It's always a payday. Police departments see it all the time. You get somebody sued and they're just looking for a $25,000 payday. And I'm always like, fight this shit. I don't care if I do care if it bankrupts the city, but these people think they can get away with anything, and it absolutely it pisses me off. Fucking dumb broad. That's why we had this, like the Harvey Weinstein. We're going to wait. We're going to wait 30 years to come out and say, well, for this role he gave me in 1987, I had to blow him or watch him masturbate. Why didn't you say anything back then? You enjoyed a 3-decade career. Now you're irrelevant and you want to write a book about it. So I don't have any respect for, the evil women who decide to do this, because this I know is not all women, but then the women who stay silent about this shit. And we have, you got Tara Reid. Apparently she's not credible for Joe Biden forcing his fingers into her vagina, or Bill Clinton and the 9 women he's alleged to have raped. But, if Donald Trump says she's a whack job, well, there you go.
No, it's popular and it's convenient and it's fashionable because he is He is the most polarizing person on the face of the planet, whether you love him or hate him. And the people who hate him, they will sit in the echo chamber to hear all the reasons that why they hate him are correct. Just like the people who endlessly love him will do the exact same thing, which to me, I like to piss everybody off and just take a position of there's some things I like about him. There's a lot of things not to like about him. It's pretty middling. People get more mad at that because you won't be like, oh, you won't confirm my bias, but that's okay. I'm not here to confirm your bias. I'm here to say things are uncomfortable and true. And that's because no one else really wants to. You do. And I always appreciate that lead you've taken on it. Andy does.
Yeah, I've always blown away that the one thing I respect about Andy is he's going far deeper into politics as for this last year. And he has an empire that you would think that normal people, and we're talking about Andy Frisella from First Form, who is in no way affiliated or sponsors this show at all, but I'll give him accolades because he's integrity personified. He owns a insanely profitable company that employs God knows how many people, and he could face boycotts any day. But then I get to the kind of people who are taking his product are fucking too lazy to get off the couch and do anything anyways. But here you have a company. And I don't know what his employees are. Or maybe you got liberal employees. Maybe you got Democrat employees. But he speaks his authentic truth, and it's a risk, and I have a ton of respect for that. All right, enough kissing Andy's ass. He doesn't listen anyways, but I'll kiss his ass because he's fucking awesome. I want to stay on the female thing a little bit before we talk about like on a political climate and get your views on what's going on. Taylor Swift. I thought about this yesterday. Now I know nothing. I don't follow football fucking at all. And I don't follow Taylor Swift outside of some of her stuff is catchy. But the guy she's dating, do you know anything about the football player she's dating?
Travis Kelce was someone who was basically, you didn't really care about him and his brand personally until two events happened. One, he started doing the Pfizer commercial, and two, he started dating Taylor Swift. And I do somewhat subscribe to the idea that the whole relationship is just to bring the NFL ratings.
Oh, dude, no, I think it's going to go deeper. Think about this for a second. This is what I want to ask your opinion on. Yeah. So the White House is doing this whole condemning the AI generated naked pictures of Taylor Swift, and which blows me away. We talked about this yesterday, and I'm like, wait a second. Now, when I grew up in the 80s, people would take cutout photographs, the heads of celebrities, and tape them onto the bodies of nude models, and then kind of take a photo of that and spread that. That was the beginning of Photoshop, right? No celebrity ever sued, or no White House person ever said, "Oh my gosh, we condemn this," like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said the other day. I think that the White House is trying to get Taylor Swift, who's this massive influence, to get her to endorse whatever political candidate they want. I think on the NFL. Think about this for a second. Now, what position does Kelce play?
Tight end.
Tight end. Fuck, I don't know anything about football. He receives the football. He can catch the ball and run it in, right?
He plays a really good 1-2 man game with Pat.
Okay, so here's my question. What do you think the leverage is on whether or not she breaks up with him the night before, fucking with his head and costing the game?
Would it surprise me? No. But as far as like the whole thing about her leverage right now is it's completely manufactured. So I believe that anything could be possible in this landscape. But I mean, do I think the Chiefs are going to lose to the Niners? I personally believe that it's going to be a close game again, and they're probably going to turn it around in the fourth quarter like they did last time. And maybe I'm a little biased being from Missouri. I'm not a huge Chiefs fan myself, but I don't think really the Super Bowl is going to have that much bearing on anything.
I don't remember. I think the last Super Bowl I watched, my niece was born. It was 2008. We watched so the 2009 Super Bowl we watched. Whoever played in 2009, that's the last Super Bowl I watched. I distinctly remember, we had a 1-month-old in the house, and it was like, all right, we're going to watch Super Bowl. That's it. No, I'm thinking that Taylor Swift is being brought. She's being, and if you, I don't know if you ever follow conspiracy theories or whatnot, but we talked about yesterday how she looks like Anton LaVey, the head of Church of Satan, his daughter's fucking clone, right? And it's like, what if she's been put in a massive position to, like, how many millions of dollars are going to be bet on the Super Bowl? And when you really think about it, she holds the sway of whether or not the game's going to be won or lost. It's like, hey, whatever Kelsey's first fucking name is. No, I'm going to leave you. And then all of a sudden his game just goes to shit. And it just costs them by like, I don't know, 7 points or 6 points they lose. I don't know.
I don't know. I believe in Patrick Mahomes. Whether or not I believe how legitimate the NFL is, I definitely believe in Patrick Mahomes. And also, I'm a Seahawks fan, so same division as the Niners. So I kind of hate the Niners a little bit more as it is.
Yeah,
so
that was my
I'll be biased.
My second FTO was a huge, what do you call it? Or Seahawks fan, Seattle shit. All right, look at our sports segment here on the Rants of Izzo. I feel like, man, we got testosterone going through everything. All right, hey, let's pay some bills here, and then let's continue with the conversation.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
All right, kids, this is the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. A couple different things for housekeeping if you're supporting the show. Number one, don't forget we got a website, rantsofizzo.com. If you want to join the chat, it's live Monday through Friday, noon Central, 1 Eastern. There's a chat on Rants of Izzo. We see April Schoen, Bev, and Sarah. Our producer Sarah's in there. It's awesome. You can download the Freedom Hub for your smartphone. All one word, Freedom Hub. Freedom Hub. Go to your app store or whatever it is on Android. Download Freedom Hub. There you're going to get access to the Spreely social media, which is the easiest comparison is Facebook, but it's free speech. It's insane. You could type, I don't know, Joe Biden sniffs children while masturbating and something as disgusting as that, and it will not be taken down. Probably because that's true. Anyways, Freedom Hub, rantsofizzo.com, Spreely TV, Spreely.tv is where you get the schedule for all the shows. You want to wake up with something good? Go watch Wake Up America with Austin Peterson, right? He's the single most greatest political mind from a libertarian point of view our nation has. We have Report and Opine with Eric Butler, who was on yesterday. The Burn Pit Podcast with Scott and Matt. Scott will be on tomorrow. Matty Wack was on last week. We have... who else do we have on there? Shannon Joy, the Don't Unfriend Me show, the Dumb Show. We have a phenomenal lineup of fantastic personalities and shows for you here on Spreely Media. If you want to support us and you want to, you're like, yeah, but I'm still tired of not getting anything in return outside of great entertainment. You can go to adrevshare.com, AD. Sarah, do me a favor, type in that link in the chat, make sure I'm okay on that. It's ADREVV share.com, adrevshare.com. Create an account. You can get paid for sharing the show links and article links for your work. It's pretty, I mean, you like it, you want to get paid, go ahead. Don't forget, lastly, we got a rant line, 708-982-0974. You can call, text, leave a voicemail, leave a voice note, and we will play your and read your content on air. Murph, plug again everything you're doing and where people could support and follow you.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up? Murphy Wells here. You can follow me on Instagram at @thedaily_Murph. There you'll see me talk a lot about political stuff, comment on current events, probably troll some people. That's probably my most consistent form of content as well. I have a podcast known as The Talk with Murphy Wells. That's more talking about like business and entrepreneurship and helping people market their businesses. And also I have a beard products company, men's grooming company that I'm a part of, known as Captain Beard Co. And we have a lot of things like beards and butters and balms, washes, really just trying to make high quality products with ingredients that you can actually understand that actually help you.
I'm going to need some beer balm because I'm growing the shit back.
Oh, I got you, baby. Don't worry about it.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's talk politics here for a second. Here's the general question. You think we're going to make it to the 2024 election without any problems at all? All right, there you go.
How's that for convincing?
Dude, I don't fucking know. The more the days go on, it's like it seems to have died down the last 6+ months of the conservative side of self-destruction where people are just Team DeSantis, Team Trump. Fuck you! I can't believe you do this. Fuck you! I can't believe you do that. It's just the infighting is insane, utterly insane, and it seems that's kind of taken a wayside. And you're gonna get. I don't know if there's gonna be any repair. If like parallel, but not. Snoop Dogg comes out and he supports Trump the other day. And I'm like, if I'm Trump, and I am this kind of guy, I'm not like Trump where I can take advantage of political alignment. But if you told me fuck Donald Trump, and that's me, and then you put me getting shot in one of your rap videos, then you want to come around and say, I got nothing but love for you. Dude, you're gonna go on national television. You're gonna be licking my ass from behind while I rest my nuts on your forehead, just to show people how much you worship me. I don't get how we do this, but with conservatives, it seems like it was F Trump, F MAGA, F DeSantis, and now how do we all come together to rally for whatever political candidate is allowed to run, if he's allowed to run? I don't know if they're even going to allow that, but I don't know if we're going to have any clear path navigating ahead in the 2024 election.
I personally don't. And I think everything you said is completely on point. I think the conservative side of the faction, the Republicans, are completely disorientated and completely chaotic. They can't tell their ass from a hole in the ground. And it was funny because I was there watching Matt Gaetz speak live in Miami when they ousted McCarthy as Speaker of the House right before Mike Johnson got put in. So that was an interesting time to be in Florida. But as far as what I think the political landscape looks like, the thing about Trump, number one, is that I think he's definitely toned down the animosity. Like right now, maybe it's partly his age, but maybe partly he's starting to listen to better people because he's historically hired terrible people to be around him that have fed him terrible information, had him make the wrong moves. And I still blame him for the things he did wrong. It's still his responsibility. But these days, he's not as... I just don't think he's as active in the shit talking as he once was because he realizes that didn't work for him in 2020. He ran a pretty bad campaign in 2020, which whatever I think about the election is whatever I think about the election. I think he's finally learning to tone down what it is that he did wrong. And when you see him win in Iowa, you see him win in New Hampshire, he talks about unity. The only persons who he attacks anymore are the people who stand in active opposition against him. So yeah, all throughout the mid 2010s, you see Snoop Dogg saying, fuck Donald Trump, the song with Nipsey Hussle, the song with YG. Well, YG even came out and endorsed him. Charlemagne the God even came out and said, no, there's a reason why people don't want to vote for Joe Biden. It's not that they like Donald Trump. It's that it's easier to vote for this guy now than it used to be. What I think is going to happen, my mom finally, I talk about my mom. I talk to my mom every weekend about politics. She doesn't want to, but sorry, I'm tuned in and I'm upset. I listened to all your bitching and griping. You're going to listen to mine. Mm-hmm. And she finally has come around to the idea that Trump has a shot at being president again. And with all the stockpile of the court cases, which are all mostly specious, if you listen to Ben Shapiro, with everything they throw at him with the media, because the media has full-on Trump derangement syndrome like they did in 2015 and 2016. I think there has never been a better time, and you're going to have to fight through a lot of infighting. You're going to fight through all the opposition. But if he wins, it will be the greatest comeback story in human history. Hands down.
You think that? I have to wonder if there's going to be massive more division, like how if we saw the Trump derangement syndrome in the streets in 2016, and it's been really quiet. We haven't had a true, quote, peaceful protest in the last almost 4 years now, right? With Biden, no Antifa, no Black Lives Matter. They haven't been put to use. Like they're being recharged right now. I have to wonder how unbelievably destructive the streets are going to be if he gets elected again.
I don't know. Biden has to watch his ass right now because the far left faction of his administration, all of his staffers, these people that are incredibly pro-Palestine, I mean, those people have kind of turned against him. And it's kind of hard to sit here and fight a full-on offensive when, number one, your approval rating is in the 30s. You're trying to run for re-election. Your running mate is Kamala Harris. And your greatest ally, quote unquote, Israel, is in a war that you're sitting here having to wipe both sides of the ass of because the people who really control your side of the administration, who really control your party, they're super pissed off at you. I don't know if he's even going to be the guy. I do somewhat subscribe to the idea that Michelle Obama might get wheeled out like Hannibal Lecter at like the last second. But I mean, as far as them being vulnerable, as far as them having kinks in their armor, like I don't claim to be a Republican. I try my hardest to practice being a libertarian who stays out of shit and minds his own business. It's hard to mind your own business right now, but I think both sides are incredibly vulnerable. But I think as far as like the sentiment of the people, that's falling more at Donald Trump because they see it as, well, hey, 3 out of 4 years of his presidency, we didn't deal with all this stuff. How many wars did he start? I mean, look at what's happening right now in the Middle East. We had 3 soldiers get killed over the weekend. Like, I remember the blowback from Afghanistan. I think more people are tired of the leader of the free world making a mockery of their patriotic spirit. And even if Trump is a crass dick, which he is, he's an obnoxious fuck, I don't care.
Correct.
I'd rather have that.
I'm blown away, though, because you keep talking, like, the one biggest problem is that what are people doing about it, right? You have, I saw Breitbart again. Breitbart puts up some article about whatever his name is, Zelensky, saying that the money that they're getting isn't going wherever. And I'm like, why are we still giving this clown any airtime, any publicity at all? And my thought is it's meant to overstimulate Americans and put us in a pressure cooker with no outlet. Meaning, we're going to see this nonstop. To be honest, I don't give a shit what's happening in Israel with between Israel and Palestine. I don't care. It's 6,000 miles away. I'm more concerned about the fact that how many busloads are we getting brought to Chicago every week that's 20 minutes from my house that's now starting to overspill. We had like 100-person protest or demonstration for pro-Palestine on Sunday at Woodfield Mall, which is like 10 minutes from my house. I'm driving down the road and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't need this shit, right? Whatever. Where was I had an excellent point, dude. Oh, the American people. We see all this shit happening. Zelensky, all the money going over there, the miscarriage of justice with the political opponents being prosecuted by the DOJ. And all we do about it is share memes. That's it. So Trump could get knocked off the ballot. I don't think we're going to be like these other countries where you see in France they're doing this, or the farmers that are coming together spraying manure on whatever government politics or steps that was. I don't think Americans will, especially conservatives, will see, hey, we just jailed Donald Trump. We're going to execute him publicly for saying E.G. Carroll, she smells funny. We're going to usurp Joe Biden by just saying, hey, he's too old to run. Gavin Newsom's going to run in without an election, and Michelle Obama's going to be your president. And we're going to be like, this is bullshit, man. It's bullshit. And we're going to air our angry thumbs. We're going to have the strongest thumbs in the world by typing. I don't think we do shit on our side as conservatives. I do not see any outcome that happens where it's not us skirting our responsibility to collectively take the country back.
Maybe at that point, and I honestly co-sign a lot of the things you said there, Dom, because I honestly think that if that were to happen, maybe it doesn't actually result in like a full-scale conflict or something where we actually say, no, we're going to demonstrate a practical solution to say that this is not okay. I think what is in fact more likely, and look, I'm not an expert. I'm a guy who complains on the internet. That's what Tim Pool always calls himself. And I identify with that. But I think it's much more likely that you start to see more of the states that are, I don't want to say Trump fearing, but the side that would be more supportive of him and would prop him up. I would probably start to see them start to abandon the customs of the United States. And you would probably start to see more succession. You would see us become even more divided, but it would be to the point where there would be autonomous, states running themselves as opposed to us being one united country. Because at that point, I mean, what would we have in common? What
I don't know.
Have to agree upon if that was okay. And one half of the country is cheering for it and screaming for it. And the other half is saying, well, we see the corruption in this just because everything's been corrupt up until this point. But at this, it's like, well, we can't take this back. It's too cancerous. It's probably just time to cut the cancer out and go our separate ways.
Did you see there's trailers for like a Civil War movie?
Yeah.
And it's like, Todd, the bad guy from Breaking Bad.
Jesse Plemons.
Dude, that guy is a phenomenal fucking bad guy.
So good.
Dude, you see this one 5-second clip. He's like, okay, sure, you're American. What kind of American are you? As he's standing with an AR-15 and he's in fatigues. I'm like, that's what would happen if the states got self-governing. You'd be like, hey, you want to get into Tennessee? Show us your papers. It's like, I'm fucking, you're from Illinois? Oh, you're from Chicago? Get out of the car, please, sir. It's like, fuck, dude. I don't want any of this to happen. I want to go back to an ignorance is bliss type of, I want to enjoy my day, and not have to worry about all this horse shit. But I think that we're so focused on federal and national politics, I don't think we can. But I'm always going to default back to, I'll bitch about it, right? Which is, we got to take to the streets, we got to do this, we got to do that. But I'm not, here's my hypocrisy. I'm not willing to do it. And I'll tell you why. Because I know when it comes down to a call to action, conservatives don't fucking act. The last rally I was asked to speak to, and I told people, do not ever ask me to fucking speak at a rally again, was right around 2021. They were protesting in Chicago outside of the Daily building, or the Daily Plaza, the lockdowns. And they said, yeah, we've got 6 speakers. We want you as one of them. I'm like, great. What time? Well, it starts at 12, and then it goes to 4. Awesome. Great. 12 to 4. That's cool. So I know from past experience of speaking at rallies that, people don't start speaking until an hour there. So I'm like, okay, if I'm like the 4th speaker, I'll get there at 2:15. Dude, I showed up. I parked my car at 2:15, got to the event at 2:30. They were already packed up. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah, it's a city of 2.8 million people, a county of 5.8 million people. Maybe 300 people showed up. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with this shit anymore, because conservatives harump a bunch of shit. They talk about all this stuff, and there's no action at all. So that's why I think, God forbid, something happens to Trump, and they're like, we're taking him off the ballot. We're not allowing him to run. Conservatives aren't going to do shit. They're just not going to.
No, probably not. And again, it goes back to the convenience thing. And this is why whenever I make a post and someone's like, oh, you're a conservative, you're a Republican, I'm like, no, it's not. Because when you look at the people who represent them in government, they're every bit as gutless as the Democrats. They're worse in a lot of cases, because they'll sell you this pious idea of traditionalist American values. And it's like, well, they're also probably railing lines off of Coke, or they're also probably railing lines of Coke off strippers' asses fucking after they get out of Congress meetings. So I don't believe them. The amount of bullshit they get caught up with stealing and embezzling. No, I'm not good with that either. You look at someone like Mitt Romney. That dude's a lizard. We talked about lizard people last time. That dude is for sure a lizard person.
And he's in Utah, and he's not taking, what do they have? They can have multiple wives there. I don't trust a man from Utah who can't have multiple wives. Or dude doesn't do that. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Do it. And let me tell you something. Women from Utah, you guys are some kinky fucking broads. You are. It's insane, dude. I'm like, you're into what? You're from Utah? And it wasn't a fluke. I've known like 3 women from Utah who were like, yeah, I do that. Holy shit.
I mean, it's the highest concentration of Mormons, correct?
Well, and there's sexuality and religion. There's something that goes hand in hand there.
Yeah, I mean, when you have like a huge concentration of like a super religious group, it doesn't surprise me at all that maybe a huge concentration of people that are super kinky would be there to kind of balance it out. I don't think there's any shame in that. It seems like what God intended.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I love that lizard people shit. Did you ever, how old are you?
I'll be 31 in March.
Oh, fuck you. You're too young. You don't remember.
We talked about this last time.
Yeah, V, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I grew up with it, and I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool. Now I'm going, holy shit, this is real. Do you think that they're going to be like emerging from the sewers as like time goes on, and you'll be like, oh yeah, dude, we're here. This is.
I feel like Taylor Swift's going to get up to start to sing a song, and then they're going to like peel off the masks and come from beneath the earth, and that's how it's going to go down.
Yeah, David Icke. I was talking about with Lola Christina, who comes on with us, and she was telling me about the blue blood line from the Royals, and I'm like, I never thought about that. Blue bloods, lizard people, and they would have to stay at the core of the earth. Well, because she's like, no, there's no core of the earth. No, their British accent. And I'm like, because the earth is flat. I'm like, that's pretty damn interesting. Yeah, you do watch these like YouTube videos of like, dude, look at that person. Their eyelid just blinked vertically, or horizontally. It's like, fucking vertically. Vertically be said like a cat, right? And I'm like, that's kind of really shape-shifting cool. I don't know, dude. You think that stuff's real?
I mean, nothing surprises me anymore.
Do you want it to be real
anymore, Dom? Like, these people, to me, the existence of God is in one's conscience and in the belief of karma. And I don't believe these people have a conscience. And I don't think karma is done winding up to punch them in the jaw yet. But I think they've just kind of walked in opposition to that feeling of mine. And again, I don't know everything, but there's something going on there that is truly sinister and evil. And the fact that big government represents that big, evil, inorganic thing, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. It's why you get that heebie-jeebies feeling whenever you see Nancy Pelosi get to talk on camera.
I haven't heard the term heebie-jeebies in fucking decades. Oh, my God.
You,
that's fantastic. We got Daily Murph sitting in with us today talking about just all things all over the place. If he's not, well, number one, do you think, let's keep going on this conspiracy route. Do you think that they're going to try to edge Big Mike in?
Absolutely.
Really? I do too.
I think it'll be a completely dramatic turn of events too. Like at the DNC conference in Chicago is when it'll all go down.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. How do you think they're going to do that?
Well, man, I've been doing this for a long time and I've passed historic policy, but I've been listening to Barry talking to the earpiece, and it's time for Mike to take my spot. Joel, can you help me off the stage, please? The whole place will go crazy. And like Michelle Obama will sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to do that. All right. Well, if you want me to, I can see that the threat of Donald Trump is imminent, and we cannot go back to the idea of losing our democracy. If it's going to go down, it'll be like that. Right. And I hate to say that because for it all to be so theatrical, for the world to all be a stage, I mean, it just using these huge displays of emotion and these grand gestures to get everyone on board with it. Because here's the thing, if they prop her up, especially if they prop her up with Kamala, the talking point will be, oh, you don't want two black women as president and vice president? You're racist. It's just been run into the ground. When we go back to the conversation about E. Jean Carroll and how diluted this idea was, the woman who says, I think people today find rape sexy. Mm-hmm. When you throw all the isms and the phobias and all the buzzwords into the ground, the way that they really have throughout the last 9 years, like since 2015, it's become so rampant how frequent all the buzzwords get thrown around. It's not that these things don't exist in real life, because they do. And my sentiments, my humanity goes out to those people. But you have these carbon copies of people that aren't real people who will bandwagon anything. They use the identity politics as their major trump card. And after 9 years of it being played to this extent, I'm sorry, the pendulum has to swing the other way. No matter how corny the Republicans may be, it has to start swinging the other way.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to, because I don't know if we're witnessing the destruction of any type of political system whatsoever, meaning that you don't really have too many options, right? I don't like any political candidate outside of Trump only because of lack of experience, right? And I'm sure that falls into place with everybody else who's ever run, even Clinton and Bush and all these other people. So if he can't run, DeSantis? I mean, yeah, just because you did a great job over a state with one term, I mean, he's got 2 terms. I think he won re-election. I don't see that as being good enough to run a nation. And on the other side, I mean, shit, dude. I'm trying to find the audio clip of Biden's latest flub where he talks about, American women. It's like he has a mouthful of hot oatmeal that he's trying not to leak all over the podium. And he's like talking about messing with the American women.
Yeah, it's at the abortion rally.
Oh my God. It was.
Man, when the women in America get depression.
Well, I can't find it because, of course, you have to search for it really well on social media. But if you put in, because the ticket that they would talk about is Newsom and Obama, here's a caveat. I'm tired of America defaulting to legacy families. Newsom was the nephew of Pelosi. Obama is obviously husband to Barack. Now you get some conservatives who are praising RFK, and I'm like, do you know who he is, right? He's a fucking Kennedy. The family that defines political corruption and part of the swamp. Well, his family doesn't like him. You don't think they're playing theater? And what, you like this man just because he came out against a vaccine? I mean, John, I think it was maybe John Burke, somebody dug up one of his own old tweets from 2018 saying that he agrees with the Parkland students and the NRA is a terrorist organization. So why are we obsessed? And this may go in with your lizard people stuff because of these type of families, these legacy families. that are all fucking inbred. And they're inbreeding in our politics. Why do we keep voting in these the Bushes, the Clintons? I mean, we had Bill Clinton, then his wife was fucking on top of the world running politics. Why do we keep voting in these legacy families as if we're not good enough to serve the people as individuals who have no names?
To me, it's that the idea of the legacy family and the legacy media is because it's been around for so long, it must be trustworthy. And as we're seeing with the collapse of CNN and MSNBC in terms of rating, and even Fox News, because again, Fox News is still garbage. I don't care who you are. Like, it's still a propaganda network, even if I don't even like any of the anchors there anymore for what it's worth. But you look at these families that have been around for a long time. Well, they work hand in glove with media, and it's all marketing, and they're marketed to the lowest common denominator of thinkers, which just happens to be the majority of voters. Well, the people who were around for, I guess it was the boomer generation more than anything else, my mom and my pops, they were inundated with this stuff, with this political theater their whole life. And when they finally got to being the age of checking out and not caring, well, they missed the movement where independent media started saying the things that you and I are saying now. It's going to be a changing of the times and a changing of the guard, because I do believe after this election, the media legacy superstructure that is what it is right now is going to crater and cancer away. And then you're going to see the rise of channels like yours and things like the Daily Wire and what Tim Pool does. They're going to be there giving the objective truth, which is we don't need to keep voting in these skull and bones society people who have been groomed for this life of privilege to be the figurehead to move the globalist agenda forward. I think with the idea of succession, we have to succeed from those ideas. And if we can join together as a country and say, you're getting fucked, I'm getting fucked, fuck these motherfuckers, that'd be real great. But there has to be an incident that we all see and we say, hey, that affects all of us.
You won't though, because that's the leveraging of like a Taylor Swift, is she'll have the people who are so easily influenced on their emotions that they won't vote that way. Here's I guess this is what Biden had mumbled or whatever.
Where him and Vice President Harris hosted an abortion rally. Despite Fox News.
Let's see. Here's what he says.
And I'm betting come November, we will vote in record numbers. And when we do that, we'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
The fuck did he just say?
I don't know.
I keep saying this. My father's 73 and he's got full cognitive capacity. The man still runs the family. He's the head of the family. But there's going to be a time, hopefully it'll happen in 15, 20 years, where there will be cognitive decline. And it just happens to all of us, right? I find myself forgetting my car keys more and more as where it's like, shit, where did I put them? As time goes on. This is the man who is the leader of the free world. He needs to be removed. The problem is, let's cut the head off the Hydra, because you remove him, you're going to replace him with somebody worse. So I don't know where we're headed, because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I don't know. And the thing that, while I do believe a big piece of all the world's a stage and blah, 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 the illusion and the matrix that's been cast on all of us, let's look at things practically, though. Playing the identity card has got them into some trouble, because now they have Kamala. And let's just say they just try to move Joe Biden out. How do they handle her? Because if you're going to move in Big Mike, what are you going to say? Hey, thanks for being our identity candidate for vice president, but now that Gramps is going to the nursing home forever, we're not going to move you up. You think she's just going to sit back and take that? I don't like the woman. I think she's probably the least talented politician I've seen in my 31 years of being alive, which obviously I've only been invested in politics for maybe half of those. But it's like, you can't just sidestep that. And you can't expect your media machine not to tear it apart either. Because what are they going to do? What are they going to say? Oh, you can't move her up? Why? When you start getting them with all the isms and phobias, how do you move the Kamala card? How do you play it? Because just picking a black woman for vice president, I feel like you probably could pick someone better.
I don't know how many people you get. You still have to see this, where it's like the airline and they're massively pushing affirmative action. You know what needs to be done is the blowback. you need to start sounding like a racist more. I'm sorry. And people need to understand this. It's, well, if you're going to use race as your leverage, I'm going to say, no, I'm not flying this airline simply because this pilot is black. It's like, oh my God, you're a racist. No, you said you're going to be pushing through more persons of color. I want to see what their qualifications are. And you're going to do open heart surgery on my loved one. What's your qualifications? Dude, I need you to be the number one doctor ranked in your field in this stuff. So Michelle Obama or fucking whatever, what the hell's her name? Kamala Harris is running because she's the first black woman. Stop putting that first whatever you are as the forefront of the title of the position you have. I don't give a fuck about it anymore. So-and-so is the first black trans cat space alien person ever to go shopping at a Kroger with the new cart that has electronic voice identity. I don't give a fuck. Stop it. But we're obsessed. We are obsessed. Going back to what you said a few minutes ago, because we keep focusing into shit like that is why a secession will never work, or a massive unity will never work, because you could have on the Jumbotron down in, was it Times Square, you could have Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden raping and killing toddlers for those adrenochrome things, and Michelle Obama walking around with their big old fucking 10-inch cock hanging out. And what you're going to have is people are going to go, yes, we all need to unite around these corrupt, evil politicians. And then somebody's going to come along and go, look, we just had the first black trans astronaut who's actually doing marriages for gay people on the side of a road out of a hot dog truck. It's the first ever. Oh, let's all gravitate towards this. What the fuck? We're just stupid.
In closing, at least on my thoughts on all of that shit, I said this back whenever Dana White was up in Canada for the Duplessis fight with Sean Strickland. And he was like, you give your fighters a long leash. He goes, I don't give anyone a leash. It's freedom of speech. And the thing that I said is that you have to stop caring what these people think of you, because that little bit of attention you give them is leverage. And that guilt and fear campaign, they've been running it for a long time. To me, it's just like, you can call me whatever name you want. I don't care about your thoughts and feelings of me because I don't pay my bills in the first place. And now I'm going to make fun of you. I'm going to make fun of you. And I don't care about your moral superiority complex, because when I look at the person who's making fun of me, there's not one thing I would trade to be in your place. So look down your nose at me, talk your little talk, because at the end of the day, you're going to go home. You're still going to be a big fat pussy, and I'm still going to make fun of you.
Don't forget, though, and maybe he changed his views, because God knows I've evolved over the years, but don't forget Dana White's the same person still who 8 years ago said, nobody wants to hear you talk about Jesus after a win. So he's still, and if he evolved over the last 8 years, good, bravo. But I still, if anybody ever talks about my stuff, I love hearing, well, hey, 8 years ago you said this. Yes, I was wrong about it, and I evolved. But, I saw that Tito Ortiz posted that, which I kind of was very impressed with Tito Ortiz posting something Dana White said, because Dana has outright disrespected Tito like fucking crazy.
They hate each other.
I don't know why he posted that. I'm like, you've seen what this man has said about you, right? But that's at that. All right, Daily Murph, plug everything. Where can people find you? How can they support you? All that good stuff. Highlight yourself.
Y'all, you can find me at the Daily_Murph on Instagram. There, I do a lot of political commentary and reactions to current events. If you want to find my podcast, it's called The Talk with Murphy Wells. That's more geared towards entrepreneurship, marketing, business, and helping people come on, tell their story. I'd love to actually have you on some point.
Absolutely.
Don.
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want. And then finally, I am part of a men's grooming company known as the Captain Beard Co. We create beards, balms, washes, waxes, all that good shit. Minimal products, things you can actually understand and pronounce. And I use it myself. And if I didn't, I wouldn't market it here.
Shit. All right. I got to get some. I need some. I'm telling you, I'm going to go between now. Well, I should do now in the election a beard. So I get a big old white Gandalf beard going for there. We'll see about that. All right, kids, go to Spreely.tv. Check out the lineup. Don't Unfriend Me show, Report and Opine, the Burn Pit podcast. Scott Sieverts will be on with us tomorrow. We got Lola this week on Thursday. And then Kayla from Flex Your Feminine will be back on Friday. All the great lineups we have on Spreely.tv. Also download the Freedom Hub app. for your smartphone. Freedom Hub, all one word. Go to rantsofizzo.com. And if you ever got anything you want to rant about, 708-982-0974. Have a great damn day. Go out and help somebody. And if you can't help them, just don't hurt them. See you guys tomorrow.